Hello all. Thank you for joining me here in this sacred space, taking a moment to just remember all that we are, uniting the light, uniting within with all that we are, coming back into our center point. We just breathe into this space, place, and time. Beautiful. So, this morning I woke up with a song playing through my head, and in it carried an important message and an activation from the higher realms, from the other side, regarding this message to put out right now. So the song was All Right by Supergrass, and in it really activated a message within me of what our next steps are. And to preface this is really dependent upon your soul's calling and whether or not this message resonates with you. Because individually, collectively, in the micro and macro collectives and the streams of consciousness and the waves of ascension, we all have different roles to play and different tasks and different things to embody at different times. Some of us are sometimes on the same wave, sometimes we're a few days or a few weeks off or a few months. So it's, if this message resonates with you, what the next calling is and what the higher realms are asking of me to release and to put forward. So as a result of the last 2 years with all the freedom codes and the liberation codes and the peace codes, as they really vary dependent upon where you live and dependent upon what's going on in your own soul's trajectory, the discussion here is embodying the freedom codes and the liberation codes. What the message of the song was speaking to me was that it's time for us to embody these living light codes that we've been activating within the collective and embodying more and more. And it is time for us to walk as the living light code keepers again. So there are thousands of codes available, and they're starting to interconnect and weave into one another. So one activates and assists another, and there's so many layers to it that I'm not going to get into it all right now. And also, I'm still expanding on my view of how these codes fully work. But in discussion with the freedom codes and the liberation codes, it's time for us to embody that freedom for those that get that call and are feeling it. So as we all know, and I've discussed here, when an activation comes through, it really does require an action step in order to embody and to receive the healing packages that occur from the DNA rewrite and the clearing that needs to occur for us to embody more and more of that truth as the living light code keepers. And so with freedom, if you feel that call, it's time to walk in that freedom again. There are many that in the collective that are requesting to see that more. However you can embody that truth for you. So especially when it comes to creation, okay, freedom in creation, freedom of expression, freedom of movement, freedom of being. Recognizing that everything is creation. So every breath I take, every moment that I have, every step I take, every word I speak is creation. So it's not always, creating content or creating a business, but it's really solely dependent on your view of creation. But how can we embody freedom more and activate that within others and help them, assist them in being able to remember their divine sovereignty, their divine autonomy, and their abilities to be free from the limiting systems that are currently dissolving in our world and on the world stage. So for us, it's the call is to stand as the light and to walk as the light and to walk as the soul and to be that pure presence and to embody that liberation to share with others. And so for me, this doesn't, the calling is going to be for every single individual and what they're called to do and how they're called to embody this freedom. And so it really is within your heart's consciousness to step into that soul knowing and then to act on that sacred task for yourself to embody this freedom. For me, it doesn't mean that I get on a pedestal out in public and start telling everyone they're free and that this is all an illusion and a lie. That's very much so for me a 3D, 4D concept of activating another individual, and that's just my calling. So recognizing though that a part of this living light code keeping and activating and sharing those codes is it's all energetic, and so not much needs to occur other than showing up as that living light and embodying that to share that with others. And so, with that, we always are, energetically speaking, we are always sharing threads of consciousness with others. And so while one might be just solely dependent upon or solely activating freedom and liberation within all, there might be other streams and threads of consciousness, like activating hope, activating prosperity, activating abundance, activating truth, activating creator codes, God consciousness, universal codes, higher self-embodiment codes. It really is solely dependent upon what you're called to do and what streams of consciousness you are sharing, because it really is dependent upon, for me, the activation with the individual. So when I go out into public and I share with someone and I act as that bridge of consciousness or that conduit of hope for the individual, while it is a shared experience where there could be a grouping where I walk into a store and assist in consciously activating the people that I interact with, it really is dependent upon what that individual needs at that time, and just allowing the codes to work through them by just showing up as you and just showing up in your light. And so embodying freedom, how do we do that? And it really is a call to tune in and to go, what do I want to do? What do I need? What is my sacred task that helps me to embody freedom, and how can I share that? Okay. Is it through song? Is it through dance? Is it through creation? Or is it through, walking free and embodying that in that deep knowing and that deep remembrance that I am love and that I am light, and I share that with others and help to bridge them and assist them in being able to remember all that they are truly deep within. Planting the seeds, which can be very subtle, and a lot of it is just in a basic interaction, showing kind, loving, compassionate care for another individual, asking them how their day is going, giving them a smile, letting them know that everything's okay, being a warm heart and a warm soul, being compassionate. And so for us, it has been to begin to travel as we are activating that next level for us, and we are stepping into discovering where our vehicle is, where our RV is, and how to get there and to be able to purchase it. And yes, we are running into blocks, we're running into setbacks, but we also know how important for us it is to embody freedom and to share that with others. And so right now, it as the higher realms have been coming through and stating, it's our time to walk as the soul again. It's our time to walk as the light, to make space, energetic space and physical space, to be able to receive what we need in order to embody that freedom. And so if you start to run into the limitations and setbacks, like, yeah, I want to embody freedom, but, and then the but comes in, and there's all these things that you need to align in order to receive what you need to receive in order to embody that. So if it's like, a vehicle, or, moving to a new place, getting out of the city, traveling, being able to get a bus pass, whatever it is for you, start setting those intentions of the things that the tools, the physical tools that might be needed for you to embody freedom, and to begin walking as that and sharing that with others. So once again, it doesn't mean that this really is solely dependent upon the individual and what their soul's calling is. But, for me, it doesn't mean that you have to get up and start becoming a preacher of truth. It can be as simple as just walking, going out into public, saying hi to people, smiling to people, and allow the energetic currents and the fluid motion of the energy exuding from your light body and from the codes that you've activated within to assist in activating others. Because at an energetic standpoint, there's not much you really have to do other than show up and allow your field to interact with others. And right now, there's a lot of people that want that. Because, so for me, when it comes to someone that embodies an aspect, okay, so let's say that there's someone that's working on their creator consciousness, or they're remembering their universe, that they are the universe. They're remembering their higher, highest everything, or they're remembering their freedom, or they're remembering their liberation, and they're embodying that, or they're remembering their abundance and embodying that. When they embody that fully, it begins to expose everything within me that is not in alignment with that aspect, and assists me in being able to recognize, to clear it, and to shift in order to remember and rediscover all that I am in all of its integrated and beautiful glory. And so why it's important is because whether the person is, because we could start to dive into the whether an individual is conscious or not, or whether they're aware. From an energetic stance, they receive what they need to receive, and the codes are going to do what they need to do for that individual. And it doesn't mean that we have to show up and start talking to them about the codes, and unless that's your calling. Like for me, it's to come up and to speak about this, because that's what my soul's truth is, and that's what's being asked of me by my soul, by my heart, and by my aspects. But really, it is energetic. It really is one of those where you can just go and interact and show that love, that loving kindness of you, that purity of you, that warm heart of you, to assist in uplifting and inspiring others around you to be able to embody the same. When we embody that, what we're essentially doing is giving the okay for another individual to remember. We're giving them access. We're handing them the keys to a new way, to a new path, to assist in them being able to remember that there's infinite doors and infinite realms of possibilities that they could step into, and that they have that free will choice to walk freely, or to walk abundant, to remember their God within, their creator within, and to remember all that they truly are. And so while there's so many threads and layers of what's going on energetically with planetary alignments, with the energies of October, this was a message to come through, is that it's time to embody our freedom and our liberation, and to be the living light code keepers, and to share that. And a part of that is recognizing it's living the light codes, living the activations, moment to moment, day to day, higher and highest everything. And recognizing that, as we are going through, like right now, there's been a big masculine template sparking, and a lot of going on with the male embodiment and in the masculine frequencies and masculine tones. That's been as a result of the planetary alignments and just what's coming forward in the collective. Is that sometimes, the higher and highest everything is just to rest. Sometimes it's to show up. And so it really is on us to tune in to ask what our sacred task is for that day or for that moment. And it seems that now, especially we're in a brand new month. So welcome to October. We made it. If you're here, congratulations. We made it through 10 months of 2020 and a lot of trials and tribulations, and we're still here. But to tune into your heart space and to ask, what is my highest aligned task in order to embody this freedom? And how can I go share that with others? as long as I'm not imposing on their free will and their autonomy, and I'm not imposing on their right to have their journey and their trajectory. So this is also freeing up control and manipulation and superimposition and imposing our will on others. It really is an utter state of allowance. And, you know, in practicing this, as I went through a little bit of an I went through an initiation just 48 hours ago by being this living light code keeper. It really isn't extremely difficult or complicated to do. It is just showing up as the light. And so for me, I got my my message, like, interact with this person, you know, offer help to this person, go to this store and interact with the customer service people, say hi to this person, smile to this person, be friendly. And with that, I allowed the experience to be what it was, and it was very subtle and smooth and soft and loving. It wasn't, you know, jarring people awake and shaking people awake like it would have been in, you know, the 3D, 4D trajectories. It was very soft, loving, and kind, and it was just showing up in that softness and that love, and asking people how the day is going, making general conversation, and allowing the light that I speak through my heart, that's activated through my throat chakra, to activate them. It really is a simple process. It's the human mind that can overcomplicate it. But really, it's time for us to go see those things again. So if you're called, listen to the song "All Right" by Supergrass and get your own activation from it. For me, it was, you know, it's time to go meet up with the friends again. And it's time to go see the sights, and to know that everything's all right. And, you know, when we embody that and share that with other people, you know, because there's still a lot of people that are in fear consciousness and that are in victim consciousness, especially with what's going on right now. We've got a lot of heart activations going on, a lot of heart opening, and exposing the victim narratives more and more within others, exposing the layers of lies and deceit that have been occurring. And especially with what's going on here in America, I'm aware that a lot of people are very nervous of the elections going on. I don't tune into that personally, just because it's just not something I do. It's not my calling. But there's a lot of people that need to know that everything's okay and that everything's all right. Because when we get more of the collective in that peace and in that purity and in that softness, we're going to notice a big shift and a big transition. You know, with the ramp up of energies and the exposing all that which isn't loving within us, it can make us not feel all right some days. And there's some days we don't feel super divine, because that's a part of the clearing process, and it's important. It's just as important as someone who's showing up on YouTube or embodying freedom. Your clearing and your integration and your expansion is important. So self-care and self-love is a very, very important sacred task. And so sometimes the sacred task is just being. But if you get that call to go out into public and to share your freedom with others, do so. Live your freedom. Live your truth. Not only is it important for us as individuals to activate those codes and to walk as the living light again, but it really is important to share that with others and to let them know that everything's okay, that everything's all right. I know for me, I've had quite a few days recently where things didn't feel all right, and it didn't feel okay because there was a lot going on internally, all internally. There wasn't really too much going on externally until just recently. But as I started to walk in this freedom and in this liberation, that which was not free within me got exposed, and I was offered an opportunity to clear it and to resolve more, and to come back into remembrance and to dissolve all this separation within. And it was important for my growth and expansion, and it's continually important. And it's important for all the individuals we encounter and we work with, and assist in uplifting them to remember in a soft, loving, compassionate way, free of imposition, free of control, free of manipulation, and really being purified with our intentions as we are compassionately working with others and assisting and uplifting and in expanding. So how can you embody your freedom? How can you embody your truth? And how can you walk as that freedom and that truth? And how can you walk as that liberated self today, that liberated aspect? You can also tune into Gaia and ask her where you are needed. Because if there's a certain area that you're called to go to interact with the field or interact with the collective or the individuals to serve as that bridge of consciousness, there's something important for you there. And so another thing is you can tune in and ask Gaia, where are my codes needed today? Where is my light needed today? How can I go show up as that light today? And then go and step into that trust and allow all the limiting fears, all the limiting belief systems come forward as you walk in through the experience, and you walk your way into a whole beautiful world and a new version of you that gets activated through the process. So what makes you feel free? How can you embody that and share that with others in a heart-centered, compassionate way, in a purified way? How can you share that? We all need it right now. We all need that inspiration. You just might be the gift that someone needs to feel that they can be free again. And that means just showing up in that presence, that pure presence of you, to express that in whichever way, form, or shape that it needs to come through you, because you are the template holder, you are the key holder, and your expression of the templates and codes is important because it's your unique coloring, your unique human that is going to assist. It's your story, it's your representation of you, it's your coloring, your voicing that is important. There's so much beautiful, wondrous, magical energies that are available right now to us all. And there's so many beautiful sacred tasks that we can do, micro and macro, that can assist in uplifting and inspiring others. And so I ask that if you resonate with this message and you're feeling called, tune into your heart space and just ask, what is my highest aligned sacred task for this now moment? Where can I go to show up in this freedom and to assist others? And then step into it with faith and knowing that you've got the support of the divine with you. You've got the support of your soul with you. You've got the support of your universe, your higher self. And allow yourself to walk into that activation with faith in the glory of all that you are, as you now can share the beauty that is you with others. Because it's our time. It's our time to shine. It's our time to walk forward, and it's our time to build. So thank you all for being here, for listening to this message. It went a little bit longer than I expected, but that's what was needed. Purified connections and purified communications are important right now. Divine neutrality is very important. I recognize that a lot of this journey for many has not been easy, but we knew this coming down here. We just didn't know how difficult it could be during some times. So be easy with yourself, be gentle with yourself, and recognize the value that you hold within in how your experience, while not tying to the story or the narrative, but allowing your experience to assist in being that bridge of consciousness for others. And so your experience, your journey is valuable. Not in letting it define who you are, especially if there's a lot of limitations and setbacks or trauma that occurred. But you act as that bridge point to allow people to step into the new world with faith and with love, and to allow the codes to activate within them so they can walk as that as well. Inspiration through embodiment. This is how we ignite the hearts. This is how we ignite the collective, as we show up as this in whatever way, shape, or form that we can. And we allow the formless to become form again, and to be okay with being the form and representing the light in the dance and the orchestration that we are currently in, creating, unveiling new earth for all. So much love and respect to all of you out there. I love you all unconditionally. And with that, I will see you freely in another moment of the now.